Hello, friends. How are you? Welcome to Vision to Victory Network's Vision to Victory Business Podcast. Today, we have a very elegant, very charming, and very impressive person who is building something really big in the real estate world. Welcome, Parag. How
Thank
are you,
you, Ritu.
Parag?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Parag, before we start, okay, and in detail about your business, your startup, what are you doing? Our viewers, we would like to know about you. Who Parag is, from where Parag is coming, what kind of background Parag has, academic, and your overall background. Who Parag is really?
Okay. Yeah. So happy to start. My name is Parag Goswami. I run a company called Clik.ai. I'm based out of Toronto right now. We have an office in India as well. So background is software. Started with went to IIT in India, studied computer
Wow,
science, graduated in 2006, just like any undergrad from IIT. Started working out in software and startups in
amazing,
India,
amazing.
and so worked there for a few years as a software developer. So actually started working in real estate, prop tech,
Amazing.
companies in India. At that point of time, VC money started coming to India very in a big way.
Correct,
So got involved in that space.
correct.
Then launched a company after 6 years of graduating.
Wow.
That company I ran for 5 years, became like a small boutique, investment consulting shop,
Right.
and a mortgage outsourcing shop in India. Post that, I started Click. So it's been a 10 plus years journey as an entrepreneur,
So nice.
and was mainly based in India. And in 2018, got introduced to Canadian startup visa. Was looking to start my shop here in North America.
Okay.
So got funded by Ryerson Futures, which is now DMZ. And so
Right.
it's been about 6 years I've been here in Canada, and that's pretty much in a quick way my journey.
Amazing journey. Amazing. From India, IIT, you worked with certain prop tech companies, and then you started on your own. You went for startup visa. Now 6 years journey in Canada.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Parag, you
Yeah.
are doing something in the real estate world.
Yes, so we are. We've been dabbling with real estate world for a bit, and so we think we've become quite. We know quite a lot about the space, and we want to dominate
Right.
the space and
Right.
do well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, looking at your exposure into real estate, I have a few questions. Of course, my viewers would also like to ask this. What are the problems which you identified in the real estate space, and why are your startup Click.ai? What are those problems which you are trying to solve through this company?
Yes, absolutely. So, if we talk about our space, like we are not primarily in the residential space, but we are mostly on the commercial real estate. So I would call it like enterprise, institutional real estate, right? So in institutional real estate, this basically the idea and the goal of launching Click AI started from my previous experience when I was running this outsourcing, consulting shop in India for about 5 to 6 years. We grew from just myself and my friend who started it in an apartment to about 40 employees. So the workload was basically in an institutional real estate world. There are a lot of back office processes, a lot of things that have to go through before an investor takes a decision or a bank finances a real estate portfolio or something. So it's a very very manually intensive, repetitive workflows, kind of like bunch of workflows which are very repetitive. So that's why traditionally all big real estate companies, banks, they have to hire an army of analysts or big team,
Right.
and then do a lot of due diligence around
Sure,
it.
sure.
So this is something we were doing as an outsourcing shop for
Right.
these big banks and US based investors. So we thought of, there must be a better way. AI is coming up, going to disrupt a lot of these
Right.
back office processes. It's human can do more quality work rather than repetitive work. So Click AI started with automating these kind of processes. So for example, in a typical real estate world, financial modeling is something that you do to evaluate the investment return of a property, right?
Right.
And so analysts and teams who are doing this, even the VP level senior executives, are plugging data into an Excel model. Everyone has built their own Excel model, spending the whole day inputting that data. So it's very, very tedious. And I think as we evolve as human beings, and as the industry gets disrupted by AI, you should be doing more quality work. And that's something that has been the challenge, as well as sometimes also the benefit. The one who had more money can hire more, a bigger army of people to do
Right.
things faster.
Right.
But I think that those are the challenges that's being getting disrupted. So we want to be part of that motion, where we as a company are building all these AI tools. Or think of this in a simple way of like Zoho of AI applications for real estate world. So as a bank, as an investor, as a large corporate, institution investor, or anyone who wants to go evaluate deals, do a lot of processes, don't have the bandwidth or the team or the size of the teams that bigger companies have. So you can use Clik.ai to do and automate a lot of these processes, and that's what we're building at the company.
Amazing, amazing. So, as you mentioned, Click AI is automating lots of processes in the real estate world,
Correct.
right? So now, who are your clients so far? Who are your customers so far? What kind of clients or customers you're getting, and what's your client acquisition strategy?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. So far we have been, I would say, we have found a sweet spot in enterprise customers, which is large banks, large brokerage shops, someone who has like a big team. So to
Right.
them, when they look at saving 3 to 4 hours every day for a team of 100 people, it's a very massively valuable, offering to them. So they use these tools as a productivity tool. Now they can do further, like once the data is there, they can run a lot of analytics. So clients are typically very large brokerage shops who are kind of like full stack, I would say. Not only their brokerage, they're also like provide property management, they also provide valuation advisory. So we have big customers like Newmark, Bellwether Enterprise,
Right.
Colliers,
Wow.
all the big names in the
Wow.
commercial real estate world in North
Amazing.
America. There are customers, very big banks in New York, like who are managing, over 40, $50 billion of real estate portfolio, like, ranging from billions of dollars of exposure in office properties, retail properties, apartment buildings. So the client base is kind of like, I would say, a mixed bag, but typically it has so far in the last 5 to 6 years of our journey has been bigger customers. And as we roll out more products, our goal is to go and expose these applications to even the smaller shops and mid-sized shops, because there are hundreds of thousands of such investor base out there in the real estate market, besides larger firms that operate and own quite a significant portion of real estate.
Amazing. So for our viewers, let's say I'm Colliers, okay? So if I use Click AI,
Mm-hmm.
the solution which you are providing is, correct me if I'm wrong, that as Colliers, if I want to invest into a property or the property which I have, let's say case scenario one, if I want to invest in a property, you are going to provide me through the financial modeling, through your AI, what kind of returns I'm expected to get, what is the all the ratios which I'm going to get out of the my investment, and how fast I'm going to make money, or what is the cost to revenue or the benefit analysis which you are going to give in a jiffy,
Mm-hmm.
very quickly. Is that the solution you're providing?
I would say yes. If you break this whole process into multiple
Yeah.
steps, there are all these steps will can be automated, and
Right.
to a certain extent can be made more efficient. So, for example, just as an example, as an investor, typically the process of when you go out and let's say you have money under in your balance sheet sitting and you want to invest in that. So you would basically network with brokers and people in your network and say, hey, a new property comes into the market. The broker will send
Right.
you the detail. The first of all, it will just
Yes.
like a pitch deck of a
Yes.
startup.
Yes.
A property has an offering memorandum, so the broker will send you the offering memorandum. You will go through the scan through the offering memorandum. You would say, hey, this might look like the a good spot that I want to. I was looking for a apartment building to acquire, so why not? And this looks like a good deal, so I'm gonna dig a little deeper into it. So what would you do? First of all, you would like to understand how much money can you make, like based on what money you have, as well as your
Yes.
capacity to take a debt. Like So you will put your equity, you'll raise some money from the bank, and then you will see, let's say, based on your strategy 5 years down the line, what are going to be my returns. And if the equity is not just your equity and you raise LP capital, then you want to also analyze like how much my limited partner is going to make, right? It's a
Correct.
typical private equity fund
Right.
cycle. So on the first step, you can Click AI helps them automate this process of going and understanding those investor returns, which
Amazing.
typically happens on an Excel model. Every
Right.
investor has built an
Right.
Excel model
Right.
similar to like Colliers as investor. When they go pitch the deals in the market, they would have their investor return models. So that's
Sure.
one part. Then
Sure.
once that your trigger, that you cross that trigger, okay, so the cash and the returns that I'm generating on this property is good, so let me dig a little more deeper. You're gonna go and figure out what the utility bill is gonna be looking like,
Wow.
what's the property tax rates are in this area. Can Are you going to look, you basically are trying to discover information which otherwise might create problems for you, right? So how fast you discover that information is the real key, and that's the process that takes time, and that's what we're helping customers with, to
Amazing.
discover information in the fastest possible time frame using AI, and multiple steps involved in it. Financial modeling is one part of it, going through the entire due diligence folder and different kind of PDFs, scanned documents, bills, and all these things. So that's, you can think of as in a simple way, it's a constellation of AI applications which helps you find that information faster and be confident about the decisions you're making at some, down the investment
Journey
exploration,
or
yeah,
cycle.
investment journey.
Wow. You see yourself in next couple of years, next 3 years. What is your journey looking like? This is
Mhm.
question one. And how are you adapting or improvising basis the learnings which you had? So rather, I would like to understand what is your learning so far and what's your journey going ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So, one of the biggest learning has been, we were waiting for the moment that we have on the platform, enough enterprise applications so that we can go faster, and, we can open up the platform to almost the entirety or larger user base in this space, in that regard. So, we've been very focused on our product as well as, finding that product market fit within our product suite with customers. I think we have achieved that. We have been operating very, very, from a healthy balance sheet perspective. That's been my focus personally. My when I raised my seed round of $2 million, my goal was I want to at least hit that kind of revenue
Right.
numbers before I go and raise more money, because it's not it was a personal goal of mine. So
Right.
we kind of like reached that threshold, made the company in a positive, healthy balance sheet, profitable manner, and that's why we are ready. I feel that we are ready to scale from here,
Oh,
not just because we constantly need money, but because we know we our vision is clear, what we're gonna build. So at this point in time, we are, 2025 is gonna be incredible year for us, because not only we have launched a lot of applications, we're getting a lot of traction for investors, and users on the platform. Then a lot of focus will be on doubling down on sales, and also with a little bit of goal to raise some additional, I would call it pre-series A or series A round, because I think we are ready to scale these operations and hire more sales team in the
correct.
process. So that's the timing wise what it looks like for us.
Right.
Learning is one of the important learning is that you have to be talking to investors and customers all the time. You just cannot have a backseat,
Absolutely.
and that's what we will be very aggressive in 2025 to be on the road for to meet investors, to meet more customers. uh, the acquisition, I would say, to us, like we have got a great clarity in terms of how we acquire customers. So for example, if we talk about customer base, larger banks and bigger shops, one of the leading channel for us typically are trade shows. So we're gonna do a more of that. I mean, it's
Wow.
one of the main important funnel for us
Wow.
in terms of how we acquire enterprise customers. So we'll continue to go down that path. We'll do more road shows, be at more conferences, because these are really good contracts. We love them in terms of how they really find value in the products. Relationships are great. And on the small to mid segment size, I would say, digital ads are the primary channel. So since these two line of acquisition channels have become very clear to us, so our strategy is to double down on that. So for the small to mid segment, we are hiring, aggressively hiring sales team. We know exactly what to sell, what works. So we're going to put more ammunition behind that funnel, and then do some brand building and be more present in the trade shows, so everybody knows what Clik.ai is doing. We have great customer feedback, case studies, which we intend to show to the customers in 2025, and we're pretty excited about it.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Parag, tell me, for Clickai, you are in prop tech space.
Hmm.
In the prop tech space, who are your major competitors, if any, and how are these competitors placed vis-a-vis you? And if these competitors, are they innovating or are they into different space? I mean, tell me about the entire prop tech ecosystem. I mean, you are a veteran of more than 10 to 12 years in prop tech. I've heard from various sources that you have helped various prop tech companies in India and they are very successful. If you want to take their names, you are free to do so. But
Yeah, absolutely. So within the realm of the space we operate in, some of the largest competitors we have are very heavily backed balance sheet based public companies and
oh,
some of the very large companies. So for
wow,
example, uh, Clik.ai provides these tools and platform to help companies evaluate deals, do analytics on it, and competitors like Moody's
okay,
rating agency, they have a Moody's analytics platform that is a multi-billion-dollar revenue division for them. So obviously they have huge budgets,
right,
and we have to compete with these kind of large, very heavily funded companies. So
right,
Moody's Analytics, there are lot of other competitors like CoStar who provide these kind of analytics and portfolio
okay.
reporting tools to major, I would say a lot of these customers have been around in the industry. It takes time to penetrate commercial real estate, so they have been around for a very long time.
Right.
Either they have existed for over 30 plus years, or some of the largest company were created by acquiring major companies. So obviously a part of that is having that right balance sheet to back you, like the having the financial firepower to do those acquisitions. So we have competitions from very large companies. I would
Is
say
it?
many of them are listed companies,
Right.
listed in the US. Then on the small front, we're seeing a lot of new companies coming up with Series A level funding and all. So there is a lot of excitement in this market. I think
Correct.
building technology after what we have seen in the last couple of years using AI has become easier. So now it's time, who can be more creative, who can put together a much innovative application. So it's not
Correct.
about a technology anymore. I think it's about the creativity. And that's
Right.
what we're competing against. And I'm pretty sure in the next 1 year, 2 year, there'll be at least tons of companies who we gonna be competing against on use cases by use cases. So
Understood.
competition is natural and it's going to be more given building technology has become easier, and we got to be prepared for it. That's it. I mean,
Amazing. Amazing. Friends, you must have heard Parag just mentioned that he is going to do a mega road show. He is going to come to you in the year 2025. He is going to represent his organization in various trade shows, trade fairs, the prop tech and real estate shows. Parag, can you throw some light? Where are you going to conduct your road shows in? And what's your plan?
yeah, I think starting January, I would be more active and be present in San Francisco, New York, to
Okay,
start with. And I think also for the real estate sense, Texas is something that I'm looking
right.
at. Yeah, so these are the core main three areas. I mean, San Francisco, as we all know, it's a big hub for investor base. So I have a lot of friends from IITs over there. So
Correct.
naturally, I have more connections over
Right,
there through
right.
my alumni network and my
Of
friends.
course.
So primarily for the fundraise, I think I'll be spending some time in San Francisco
Okay,
and in New York to be close to our customers. We have a lot of customers in New York area, big banks, and some of
understood.
the teams we directly work with. So it will be a nice next very exciting next quarter, Q1 2025. we have big
Wow.
plans for it.
Looking forward to.
Yeah.
Uh, when you talk about fundraise, how much you want to raise and how you're going to utilize it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the plan for 2025 is to compete with these, as I mentioned, like very
Right.
massive companies who have incredible advertising budgets and marketing budgets, and have firepower. So we would it would be a good strategy to raise at least what the competitors on the Series A level have raised. So we're looking to raise close to about $10 million
Okay.
in our fundraise. I think our revenue can substantiate that. We do have revenue, so we're not just like any company who is not bringing revenue. So
Right.
I think that would be a sweet spot. We will start with that, and most of it is primarily going into like ramping up sales primarily, and be
Of course.
hosting booths at major trade shows and go from there. And we have big plans which I don't want to disclose just yet, but there are only three major commercial real estate listing website in the world. We're gonna be the fourth,
Wow.
and that's our goal is. And
Okay.
so the key component of that would be we want to partner with people who can introduce us to more people to execute on this grand vision. And I think there is competition, but there is an opportunity for a massive fourth player to be in this space, and we want to be that player. uh, Clik.ai has a great brand name in the market. People know the brand if you go to big shops, and we just want to expand on those good customer references and how people really love what we are building, and just be more present.
Wow. Wow. And you are already generating revenue.
We are, yeah, we're doing it in a profitable manner.
Absolutely. Parag, as a person, apart from this prop tech evangelist, prop tech founder, prop tech startup owner, I heard, apart from this, Parag loves basketball games. He never misses Raptors. Tell me more about that story, Parag.
Yeah, so used to play basketball
Yeah.
in college days.
Okay.
So back in the days when I was in high school, I used to know almost every fact and about every team member of
Wow.
NBA, and how what's their scores are, everything about them, from every player in every team. And since then, I've kept that love for it, and had been a big fan of Raptors since the
Wow.
very beginning.
So nice.
Huge fan of Vince Carter, and when everything was coming together, I'm moving to Toronto. I mean, it all came together. And my wife is a member at the club here in Toronto. So
Okay.
I'm privileged to have those seats, and I can
Oh
go
my
and visit as many
God.
lot of games. So I think it's a great to experience that, and nothing beats that
Please
kind of
take me to
experience.
those seats once,
Yes,
Parag.
absolutely.
I want to be there with you. I want to have some beer with you there. So
Yeah,
nice, Parag.
it's
It was so lovely to host you. Parag Goswami coming out of IIT in India, setting up his own company in real estate, prop tech space, being a basketball fan to a startup evangelist, prop tech evangelist, running Clik.ai, which is easing the deals and the deal making in the real estate space. He has got big dreams, and this man, I'm sure, is going to give enough boost and lots of boost to the real estate world. Parag Goswami, thanks. Thank
thank
you
you,
so
Rahul.
much for giving
Thank
me
you. My
time
pleasure.
and
Thanks for
wonderful.
having
I
me.
wish you all the best for 2025 road shows. Godspeed.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, viewers. You have been with V2V Vision to Victory podcast, Vision to Victory Networks. This is your friend Rahul Malhotra signing off along with Parag Goswami.